I cannot do Audible. I'm not an Audible girl because I don't listen. The old me would have said, I need to put up all of these videos in order. I need to re-edit this day 3 Carnival Cruise. We're in 2025 and I'm still trying to get footage out from 2024. I am not a cruise girly. I do not like cruises. I don't like the water. I don't like the size of the rooms. I forgot to tell y'all, I crashed out on that cruise. I crashed out. I don't understand how 12-year-olds are out here partying in the damn hallway, but my ass can't get in a hot tub. The food just was not up to par. For Carnival to say that they have a completely vegan menu and then the food is actually trash. Boss got attacked. Like, no, we're not doing that. I said I quit. I quit. I'm not giving y'all these lesson plans. I'm not dealing with these kids that stress me out. I have noticed that I am a social drinker, but I also fall to peer pressure. Hi guys, it's Jen and I'm back again with another YouTube video, and today I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart with you all. So the last time I saw you guys, we were on Carnival Cruise ship on day 2, and I was getting ready to drop day 3. I had issues with my laptop, and the sun is so bright, y'all. Sorry if I'm squinting. But I had issues with my laptop and I was not able to upload the video that I completed. I had cut down literally 2 hours and 15 minutes worth of footage into 30 minutes. And then I had to get my laptop fixed, got it rebooted, all of those things, and that video will not upload onto YouTube. I cannot open it, I cannot watch it. It's like I didn't even make the video. And I have been frustrated. I have not really wanted to put those 2 pieces, those 2 hours back into action, because now I have to redo the entire video, and I just don't, your girl, she just don't want to do that. Like, she really does not. So I'm not gonna. Like, I'm reading a book right now and it's so good. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I have been reading this book pretty much all 2024. I think I got it at the beginning of the year, but it's one of those books I put down, I pick up, I keep coming back to. Some chapters I end up rereading, some pages I end up rereading altogether. And I love tangible books for that reason. I cannot do Audible. I'm not an Audible girl because I don't listen. With this, if I catch myself going off, or if I catch my brain like not really retaining the information, I could literally go back to the same paragraph. Okay, let me reread this and actually listen. So I am a hand holder. Like, I like to read books by hand, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're that type of person too. So I have been reading this book, diving into it all year, making sure that the information that I actually get from it is retained by me. But it's a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself: How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. The thing I really love about this book is, I'm gonna literally quote it from the back. Dr. Joe demystifies ancient understandings and bridges the gap between science and spirituality. And I love the Lord with all my heart, and sometimes I feel like we forget to tap into that relationship that we have with him, and we kind of forget that he's in us always, constantly. And this book helps humanize that and helps us kind of understand it on a scientific level and spiritual. And it helps you kind of learn the science behind your mind and how it truly works for you and sometimes can work against you. So I really love this book. But anyway, in Breaking the Habit of Being Myself, the old me would have said, I need to put up all of these videos in order. I need to re-edit this day 3 Carnival Cruise, and then I need to do day 4, then I need to do day 5, all this stuff. So I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm going to talk to y'all now, tell y'all what the lowdown is. I'll include clips, videos, footage, whatever. And then we're going to move on, honey, because we're in 2025 and I'm still trying to get footage out from 2024. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to share it now. So where did we leave off? We left off on Carnival Day 3. We went to Jamaica this day. We met a really sweet man. His name was Mr. Jerome Lewis. I will leave his information down below as well as in this video right now. He gave us a custom tour. Originally, we were going to go to Sandals Ochi. And y'all, sometimes people be lying on YouTube talking about. So I saw a video that says Sandals Ochi had a day pass for $100. So we all go over there trying to do the day pass for $100. When we get over there, come to find out, the day pass is really like $195 a person, or it was like double the price of what we thought it was going to be. And we didn't want to pay $400 just to be for it. Would have been $400 for Joe and I, and then $400 for my mom and dad. So we didn't want to have to pay all that money just to go sit on a beach and do beach resort things. So call Mr. Jerome back. He came and he took us around to see Jamaica. We went to the Fern Gully. So we got a little historical tour from Mr. Jerome. Check that out here.
Cousin Jerome.
Right, welcome to Jamaica. I'm here giving these lovely people a nice little tour of my island, Jamaica. I am Jerome. Welcome again. Right now we are in the Fern Gully, just a few kilometers out of Ocheres. And it's one of the attractions that we show our guests while they are visiting here. And we are doing what is called the Ocheres Highlight. Now the Fern Gully, as I said before, got the name because there are several different species of fern that can be found here. It is said that our researchers have shown that we had over 200 different species of fern, some of which are not found anywhere else but here. Now, you notice that the trees, they grow to some very high heights. You can just turn the camera up there, yes. Right, so it's a forest. So in a forest, the trees are always fighting to get to the sunlight. So it's a race to the top. So the trees go up there. There was a time when the foliage inside there used to be much thicker because the trees would grow and then gravity would bring them over at the top. And then they would form like a canopy. And you're traveling like, right. It used to be pretty dark. But, yeah.
So what about that? What kind of flowers?
That's an hibiscus. That's an hibiscus flower, right? That's an hibiscus flower. You see, so the yeah. So, but you know, because Jamaica, stop the noise. All right. Because Jamaica is always susceptible to these hurricanes. You find that the trees keep blowing over. A lot of these debris, some of these dry stuff here, there's all the result of past hurricane. Fortunately, the one Debbie that we had the other day, just a few weeks ago, it wasn't as intense in here. I've already have seen much more damage. Just a few trees were blown over. Because I said before, it was more on the southwestern side of the island.
Okay.
So you find out that the hurricane keep blowing over the trees, so there are more sunlight is now able to penetrate. And you can recognize too that the temperature, the rising temperature, is somewhat depleting the fern,
So
the fern
change
yes,
affecting the ferns as well. Okay.
exactly, because the more damp the area is, the better the ferns thrive in a damp. But when it gets too dry, a lot of the fern die off. And you can see that too. So, cause there was a time when this used to be really known as the Fern Gully. There was a lot of ferns, beautiful ferns, ferns that you'd pay a lot of money for to put in your house.
Right.
And you find them growing here wild. But because the time has gotten so hot, so some of them are dying. Hopefully, you know, sometime when it gets in the rainy season, May and October are considered the two rainy months. So when that time comes, then you find out that they begin to step right. You know, nature has a way of repairing itself, you know, in spite of all of that. Because when the hurricanes come and blow things over, a few weeks they grow back up. You know, but it, as I said before, this used to be pretty dark. I mean, it's like you're traveling through a tunnels made of trees. But because of the recent hurricanes that we have been having, and they are coming a little bit more frequently. When I was growing up, my mother told me about a hurricane in 1944, and I never saw a real hurricane until maybe somewhere in 1980, 81. And then shortly after in 1988, we have another devastating one called Hurricane Gilbert. I don't know if you remember Gilbert. Gilbert was so big that it went right across the entire island of Jamaica. A lot of devastation took place with the Hurricane Gilbert. When you look at that,
Stay safe.
no, well, people have shelters, and if your house is properly built, and you're not in a vulnerable area, you can batten down and stay in. But you're encouraged to go to some shelters if you're not certain where you are, because there's a lot of flooding that is associated with the hurricane. Yeah, man.
Okay, you're back. So after we went to the Fern Gully, we went to Dunn's River Falls. I don't think I can be heard.
Take a look, we're going soon, alright?
Look at your face.
How you feel, babe?
Nervous.
Do it? Hi, baby. Yeah. Go, Jen. Huh? Yeah, I did.
But I did it with my mom, which was a milestone. So me and Cookbook ended up doing that. I was so scared. My legs were shaking the entire time until we got like under the bridge and I could kind of relax, and I was like, okay. But that climb, that incline, it's a lot. But it was a really good time, fun experience. I'm happy I was able to do that with my mom and make that memory. Then what did we do? Then I feel like we came back. That was about all the time that we had in Jamaica, and we had to come back on the cruise ship, say goodbye to Mr. Jerome. Came back on the cruise. We ate dinner. I want to say we had dinner, and then after dinner we went to 2 shows on the cruise. Carnival does have a lot of activities that engages you, so we did that. Now what I've realized from Carnival Cruise is I am not a cruise girly. I do not like cruises. I don't like the water. I don't like the size of the rooms, and I don't like the food. So I know from now on when we vacation, I am a catch a flight, stay there for a couple of days type of girl. I don't want to cruise anymore. I don't want to do it. So then we hit day 4. Day 4, what did we do on day 4? Oh, day 4 was Grand Cayman, because we went to Jamaica and then the very next day we ended up in Grand Cayman. That was a jewelry tour. We ended up hanging out with the Effie jewelry people, and I upgraded my ring, which to me it's an upgrade. It doesn't cost as much as my old ring, but I love it. It's so cute. It's tanzanite, and there's little diamond stones around it. But this ring, I think Joe paid like $300 for this. It's like $285, and my original ring was like, I want to say like $900. But if you know me, you know I'm cheap and I break stuff. I'm not the type of girly that needs like expensive jewelry. I think the most expensive piece of jewelry I have is a watch that Joe bought me for my birthday, and he literally bought it for me because I bought it for him first, because it's a black owned watch brand by, I think they're called Vitae London. I'll insert a link or a clip of the watch I got, but that's the most expensive piece of jewelry I have, and I've never worn it. And I've had that jewelry, I think Joe bought me that watch 2 years ago, and I still haven't worn it yet. So I'm not an expensive jewelry type of girly, but I love my new ring. I think it's really cute, and I like the stone is bigger than my original stone, and I like that it's an African stone. It comes from Tanzania, or Tanzania, I don't know how to pronounce it. But that was the coolest thing I learned on the cruise, was about tanzanite and jewelry and all of those things. It was really, really cool. So day 4 was pretty much all of that. Then Joe got a really bad migraine, so we ended up going back to the cruise ship early. I went into the sauna. One thing about Carnival Cruise saunas, they're not very clean. None of the lockers worked. And then come to find out, we were on the old poop cruise. So if you guys heard of the Carnival poop cruise that happened years ago, they revived that ship, turned it into Carnival Sunrise, and that was the ship that we were on. So yeah. Anyway, now day 5, we actually left the cruise ship. Leaving the ship wasn't bad at all. Then we had a drive to go back home. Fast forward. All right, so after the cruise, came back home. My mom and my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, they both came to town. While we were out of town, they were watching and dog sitting Fosse Poo. So when we came back, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all, I crashed out on that cruise. I crashed out. Okay, so this is our first time on a cruise ever, but I will say I'm very, very annoyed with the way how they carry adults and children together. I don't know what is wrong. Yesterday, I feel like we were am I tripping, or were we out there till 12?
What do you mean?
In the hot tub.
Oh, not yesterday, Monday, when we watched the Hunger Games movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was out there till about 12.
Yeah, so Monday we were out there at the hot tub till about 12:30.
No, it was about 12:15.
Well, about 12:15.
We left while the movie was still on.
Yeah, we left while the movie was still playing. But now they have a movie playing. The movie just started at 12 o'clock. It's The Beekeeper. We already saw the movie, but I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the movie just because I want to check it out, be outside, you know, have some drinks, be in the hot tub, and watch something that's interesting, because that's what we did the first night. We watched Hunger Games, and I'd never seen it, but I was able to drink my drink and sit in the hot tub and chill and, you know, socialize a little bit, but not too much, and hang out on the lounge chairs. So even though Joe didn't want to go, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna go do that. I'll be right back. Or not right back, but you know, after the movie, I'll come back in the room, whatever. So I get out there, the hot tub is closed, the pool is closed, and they're closed with netting. So even if you were to get in it, you would drown yourself, because you would literally step into netting and kind of form a net. You would succumb to your injuries. Mm-hmm. But they're doing that to stop children from infiltrating these areas, instead of just stopping children in their tracks. You guys have a system set up, or it looks like y'all have a system set up, where you can differentiate children from adults. So just enforce the rules that you already claim you have. If that's the case, then you can still let the adults enjoy these things. I don't understand why one day it's one way and then the next day it's not. The only place that has been consistent since we've been here is Bonsai Sushi, to keep it 100. Sunshine or Sunrise or whatever that restaurant is called, their vegan options are not up to par. I will give them an average of a 6 to 5.
Yeah, 6 is a good score.
6, yeah, I give them an average of a 6 to a 5. And that's me being nice and generous with that. But their food is not up to par to something that I would normally eat as a vegan. Especially these quick service options. Sunshine has the best vegan options here outside of Bonsai Sushi. And Bonsai Sushi only has 3. So it's very disappointing. And the casino, they have a no smoking policy. But then they also give out freaking ashtrays for people to smoke in the casino. So if you have a no smoking policy, why do you have ashtrays? The cigarette smoke stinks. So now you have people who don't smoke interacting or smelling and inhaling the fumes of folks who do, when you should just enforce the rules that y'all already have on your ship. Your staff, they are not up to par. I'm sorry to say, but you need to get some bosses in here that actually know how to manage certain situations. You got staff, you got security, you got all of these people just on your payroll not doing their job. We asked for crowd control for a line for the comedy show. That man walked past me and was straight up like, that's not my job. I had to tell people that the line started elsewhere so that people could roll their eyes and get an attitude with me, giving ugly looks, you know, looking at me like I'm crazy and y'all holding grudges with me after the show over. So now I'm walking around in regular clothes and bitches is mad about me telling them to get in line from previous. Why do I have to deal with that type of energy and I don't even work for your cruise ship? There is not good leadership and management. My mother said when they went on their first cruise with Carnival, the experience was different. Everything was included, including alcohol, blase, blase. And the reason why things changed, I'm starting to see why things have changed. People are taking advantage of stuff. And instead of Carnival putting their foot down and saying, no, these are our rules, they are literally letting people do whatever the hell they want just for the money. Because this is your facility, you own it, and you have the right to run that bitch how you want to. And what I am noticing is that y'all are letting a whole bunch of people that pay you run your shit. That's what it looks like to me, Carnival. I don't understand how 12-year-olds are out here partying in the damn hallway, but my ass can't get in a hot tub. Make it make sense. And that's all I got to say. Oh, on top of that, the adult section closed at 10 o'clock. But these kids could be in the pool until 12:30. But now today, y'all changed that because they're not allowed to be in the pool till 12:30 today. Y'all put nets over the pool. So y'all are just doing stuff surface level to fix situations instead of making security enforce your rules. I was upset because the food just was not up to par. For Carnival to say that they have a completely vegan menu and then the food is actually trash, it was just kind of off-putting. Now, hindsight being 2020, as I look back on the menu and I've made diet changes, I feel as though I probably should have tried other food alternatives and I may have liked them, so I will give them that grace. I tried traditional Southern food because I'm a traditional Southern girl, so I try to give those types of dishes a try. But even still, I wish that I had went more outside of my norm and tried different foods because I may have liked them. But the foods I tried, I did not like. The atmosphere, I did not like. Carnival has an issue with allowing people to do whatever they want. Their staff does it. There was a situation where we were trying to get into a comedy show. So say if you are because they would do this, they would have two events back to back in the same space. Say if we went to a comedy show, right? Or no, this is exactly what happened. There was this game called Love and Marriage. First off, it was adult content, so children were not allowed to be there. Carnival still allowed for people to have their kids there. They made multiple announcements saying, okay, get your kids out the room, get your kids out the room. And after a while, if people just left their kids in there, they just allowed it. They were talking about fellatio, all types of things. Like they had the couples do a makeout session. Like it was just stuff your children shouldn't have been privy to, in my opinion. But they just let the kids stay. Like, do your job and kick these kids out. Like, and then, so after that happened, they had another event in the same space. So in order to attend that event, you have to leave, get back in line, and enter into the space all over again. So when you do that though, there's no security like regulating lines. So there was a hallway this way and then there was a line going this way. So if you could tell, it's like a T. It's a T mark. We were in this line, as we should have been, and there were people skipping and cutting. Y'all, I got real ghetto, and I was like, I hope y'all know that the line, like, why did I have to do that on vacation? Why do I feel like I want to fight people on vacation? Like, I just did not enjoy that. I did not enjoy that. And then just getting stares and mugs from people, and it just wasn't the environment that I would like to be in. So hindsight being 2020, I don't think I'll ever do a Carnival cruise again unless it's like a family ordeal or something like that. But even then, I'd have to force Joe, because Joe over it. He over it. He been over it. He don't want to go no more. So that was our Carnival cruise experience. After Carnival, where did I leave off? Okay, came back home. Oh, because of how awful the food was on Carnival Cruise, I started eating seafood again, y'all. I started eating seafood again. I came home and had a seafood boil, okay? The same day, like arrived home, seafood boiled at night. Because I was just craving good food, and I felt like their seafood did look good on the cruise, and it kept making me say like, damn, I'm over here eating scraps when I could be eating really good on this cruise ship. So yeah. So that was my introduction to seafood. I did not get sick. Now, when I first became vegan, well, I was vegetarian. I transitioned up from pescatarian to vegetarian to vegan. So when I first transitioned from pescatarian, I loved pork, and 6 months into my pescatarian journey, we had a cookout and I ate some pork. I had an awful reaction. I have HS, so I had a flare up under my armpit that same day, or no, the very next day after eating pork, and that was my sign like, girl, you can't go back to pork. I have never ever missed beef, and I have never missed chicken. Those are two things that I feel like I can, in the vegan realm, kind of freak a leak. So I've never wanted chicken because I feel like oyster mushrooms taste like chicken. I stand by that. I will die on that hill. And then as far as steak, I just don't want it. I've never wanted steak. I think it stinks. And if I don't like the way that the meat smells before it's even cooked, I'm not going to eat it. Like, even with seafood, I love the way that raw salmon smells. To me, I think it smells like watermelon or like really good tomatoes, like really fresh tomatoes. But I never ever get the sense of like rotten seafood. Unless the seafood rotten, then I'll smell rotten seafood. But like fresh seafood, I don't dislike the way it smells, but there are certain meats I just can't stand the way that the carcass smells, you know. So I've never missed it. But seafood is one of them things, boy. Clock that T. You just can't make a vegan shrimp. You just can't make a vegan crab leg. You just can't do those types of things. So yeah. So went back to eating seafood. After that, boss got attacked. He got into 2 fights with a pit bull in our neighborhood, and the pit bull bit boss like right up underneath. So when they went to fight, the pit bull like kind of bit under his jaw like this. I know I look crazy, but I'm trying to show y'all like this. So the day of the fight, we couldn't tell that anything was wrong, but we did see bleeding from his mouth, and I thought that it was from a tooth that he had that was loose. So I was like, okay, we'll monitor it. Woke up the next day, boss's whole face was like on one side though, the side that he got bit, it was like drooping down. He was drooling really heavy on that side, kind of like a Beethoven dog. Like, he was drooling heavy, and he doesn't normally drool like that. So took him to PetSmart, $2,000 bill, and he ended up getting the medication and all that stuff that we needed for my baby to heal up. So that was a little bit of a lot. Oh, let me just update y'all on Boss. So after that, then I take this boy on a walk, and he gets a laceration in his ear because he's smelling a rose bush so hard. He like pushes himself into one of the rose bush thorns, and he ends up getting it stuck. All I hear is him yell like, ah! And I'm like, what the heck is he yelling about? And then coming to find out, it was because of the rose bush. So coming to house, he's bleeding awful. I don't even think I took video of that because it was just so much. He was bleeding for like 2 hours, and Joe ended up calling the vet. They said, well, you still have medication from the last time he was cut, so just try and use that. because then boss got into another scuffle where he got cut under his eye. I do have footage of that, so I'll show the picture of that. But he got into another fight in the neighborhood where he got cut under his eye. So they be coming for my baby. But yeah, Boss is just not a friendly dog. So when other dogs try to approach him, it's on sight with him, and he gets to barking, and then the other dogs get to barking, and then they just get to, especially if these irresponsible owners do not have their dog on a leash. So anyway, that was what happened with Boss. Came back from my cruise, school started. So I had my last year teaching. I'm so happy about that. Now let me tell y'all, if anybody tell you to stay just to show that you ain't, you know, what do they say? Stay in that job, don't let them people let you leave. Stay at that job, you know, prove to them that I ain't gotta prove shit, okay? I left that job. It was stressing me out. When you get to the point, and this is when I knew I needed to quit, I was driving to work and I would contemplate like, Jennifer, you could just go off the side of this road, you know, miss a little week of school, say you got into a car accident. When you start contemplating stuff like that, those are called suicidal thoughts, and you need to leave your job. And that was what I was dealing with. I felt like every time I went to work, it was something different, either with the kids or with my coworkers. I never worked in an environment where I just felt so, I don't want to say alone, because I wasn't alone, but I felt so like everything was on me. And then when I ask for help, the help that I get is kind of crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. So we had lesson plans that we had to worry about. Mind you, I had been at this job for 2 years. Ain't not one person ever asked me for a lesson plan, right? Now, my third year that I got the hang of teaching, y'all want to hit me up telling me that I owe y'all lesson plans. This was a big thing for me. I already knew what I was doing, but y'all wasn't asking for lesson plans from people that literally would say, I don't even know what I'm doing today. I don't even know what I'm about to teach my kids today. But you don't need lesson plans from them, but you need lesson plans from me. When you know I always write on my board, when you know I always have something for the kids to do that day, you can see it. But instead you're harassing me and telling me you need these lesson plans just so you could check a box. I had never worked at a job where checking a box was the main priority. Like, when you're in the kitchen, it's all about productivity. It's all about getting the job done. I had never had female bosses that's outside of one, and she wasn't even really my boss. She was just like a supervisor, but she had a boss that she reported to that was my boss. She was not my EP, my exec. But I never had a job where it was just check box type shit. It was always, anytime I worked prior, when you work in a kitchen, you don't do stupid stuff. You don't do stuff just to keep your job. Efficient is the only way to go. Smarter, not harder, is the only way to go. So when you're telling me to grade the kids here and then go type it into an Excel doc just so everyone else can see what I graded my kid, like, no, we're not doing that. And then when I don't do it, you harass me about doing it. And then when I do it, you don't even give a damn. You just put an A+. Like, did you even look at my lesson plans? So, stressed me out all year. Then it got to the point where I said, I'm not doing them. I'm just not gonna do them. Then they just kept asking for them and asking for them. And then I said, I quit. I'm not giving y'all these lesson plans. I'm not dealing with these kids that stress me out, and not all of the kids stress me out. There are some wonderful, wonderful kids that actually gave me hope. Prior to being a teacher, I felt like this generation was lost. And I have met children that have changed my outlook on the up and coming generation. I really have. And I wish them all the best. I love them to death. And I hope that, you know, they go on to be great, great, great people and do all of the great things that they imagine in their head. I just pray that it all comes true for them. But teaching is not my ministry. And as much as I may have been good at it, I just didn't enjoy myself. I wasn't happy there, and I'm a lot happier now. So now that I'm done teaching, it's summer. Well, it was summer. They're back to school now, and I'm still summering, honey. But now I have started Pilates class. I have been going since April. of 2024. I have hit class 145. Your girl been working. We're on a juice cleanse right now, so we've been on a juice cleanse since September 1st. Today's the 10th. Joe trying to end it tomorrow. But we're gonna see if I can get him to keep it longer. Oh, 2-a-days. I have started doing 2-a-days with Pilates to kind of amp myself up because I have a weight loss goal for the end of this year going into January. My goal is to weigh 180 pounds. I currently weigh 199, so I have 19 pounds left to go. And then going into the following quarter, for 4 months, I have another goal to lose another 20 pounds. So my goal is to get down to 160, but I'm doing them in quarterly batches, which I recommend for you. If you have a big goal, break it up quarterly and then work strategically to get it done. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. What else do I have to update you guys on? Oh, so going in December, this is still during the school year. I just sped through the school year. What did I do? Business wise, backtrack. For my birthday, November. I'm going into Toya's birthday. I forgot about my birthday. So in November, I'm a spa girly. I love spas. I think I'm gonna start doing like spa reviews on this channel. But went to the spa for my birthday, had a blast. We went to this place called Rock Barn Spa. So good. They have a really cool setup that's kind of like a baby Omni Grove Park Inn. The pool is really nice. They have a plunge pool there. Then they have a waterfall, cascading pool. They have I don't think they had a steam room or a sauna. I could be lying about that or just forgot, but I don't recall a steam room or a sauna being there. But I'll review my footage and double check. So then after Rock Barn, what did we do? I think we went to Ginya. I love Ginya. That's one of my favorite restaurants in Charlotte. So after Rock Barn, I think we went to Ginya for dinner, if I'm not mistaken. And for Joe's birthday, his birthday was before mine. Joe didn't really do much for his birthday. I'm trying to remember what we did for his birthday. I can't really remember. I'll insert a clip. If we did something for his birthday, I'll insert a clip here. Now moving to December. So my homegirl, Toya, hey girl. Her birthday is December 4th or 5th. No, I'm off. December 7th. Her birthday is December 7th. And for her birthday, we went to Panama. Her father and her mother-in-law lives in Panama. Shout out to Miss Beth and Mr. Fred. They were such gracious hosts. I love them so much. They were so sweet to me, so kind, for opening up their home and showing me a great time. Like, they really treated me like I was one of their children. We had a blast. I felt like I was one of them Real Housewives of Atlanta girlies. We had a bus or a driver come pick us up from the airport, had the little sign and everything. It was so cute. We drove all the way to Coronado, which is a part of Panama, and we stayed with them. They lived right off of the beach, so in the morning, one day we got to walk over there and just walk the beach like they were that close. What else did we do? We went to visit Old Panama, did a museum tour, and I love museums. I'm a museum girly, so is Toya, so we got our life. Then we went to a rooftop, had some drinks, had some good food, because I was still drinking at the time. Then I got really drunk one night, and this was part of the reason I didn't want to drink. Now, I have still drinking since this time. Well, during that time in December, I was still drinking, even though I was embarrassed by this moment, but it made me stop and take a step back. So we hung out with Mr. Pierre and his wife Sharon and they were really, really kind. And Mr. Pierre had this really blue drink. I think it was Hypnotic, child, and I was not drinking Hypnotic all night. But when I saw that pretty drink, I said, ooh, that drink's so cute. That drink's so cute. I want that. So for a while, it's like, no, girl, you don't want that. We were singing karaoke. And it's like, for a while, it's like, no, girl, you don't want that drink. You don't want that drink. Don't get that drink. And Miss Pierre, he poured me the drink. And I drank it. And that, when I tell you, after that drink hit my lips, blackout. I ain't remember nothing else. Me and Toya, I fell asleep and woke up in Toya's room. I didn't even sleep in my room that night. So I don't know. I don't know. But the next day, after I got out of Toya's bed, went into the bathroom, projectile vomit, projectile vomit, projectile vomit, stomach lining coming up, yellow parts of my stomach lining coming up, my throat sore, hoarse, can't really hold liquid down. Went to the grocery store to get something to help me feel better because I also wanted to cook for Mr. Fred and Miss Beth. Went to the grocery store, throwing up all in the aisles, y'all. Then went to the bathroom in Panama. Random. Things will just stop working. So electricity will go out, the water will go out, whatever. I'm in the bathroom, pitch black, puking, trying to find the toilet. It was just crime scene. I committed a crime. And I said, you are too old to be in this beautiful country puking in this grocery store. Like, you came back home, they ended up going out to eat, or they did something, but I was so jacked up I couldn't do nothing. I had to stay on the porch the entire time. So it was just, one, embarrassing that for me, and two, like, I was too old to be acting that way. Like, I needed to get a handle on my liquor. So I stopped drinking from there, and it made me become more cautious of the drinks I took. And I have noticed that I am a social drinker, but I also fall to peer pressure. And I don't necessarily want to do something, but if other people are doing it, I kind of feel like I have to. And I'm unlearning that behavior because I'm breaking the habit of being myself. Shout out to the book. But when you're unlearning certain behaviors, you have to call it what it is. And you have to call yourself out for the types of things that you do that you don't really like that you do, which is being a follower and just doing stuff because other people are doing it. And if you don't want to do it, it's okay. So I have not drank since, I'm not going to say when I stopped drinking, but I have chosen to not actively have anything in my house coming from a 2 glass of wine a day girly. I don't have wine in my house. I used to have this drink called Calmezzi, which was like a THC drink because I didn't want to drink wine. So for a while I was like, oh, I'm gonna just drink this Calmezzi. Stopped with the Calmezzi because it costs like $50 a bottle, and it's like I'm wasting money on this Calmezzi where we could be saving and putting it towards other things. So I just stopped altogether. I also used to be a smoker. I think this is my first time sharing this on this channel, but your girl used to blow some tree down, okay? And I have decided to stop that. Now that is more recent. I stopped smoking September 1st, but I am going strong. I feel really good about it. I have made a decision with myself and the Lord. We kind of had a covenant that if I decide to let something go, I will do so, and I will no longer have that craving, and God has taken that craving away from me. And I've even tested myself. I keep this little Delta THC weed in the closet. I ain't touched that weed at all. I don't even want it. I don't have any desire. I also made some edibles last year that I had frozen in my refrigerator, or frozen in the freezer. Still ain't touch them. I told my brother he could come get them because I don't want them. But yeah, I'm proud of myself with the decisions that I'm making and the choices that I'm choosing to make, and I feel really good about it. So I feel like I've caught y'all up with me. All right, so I want to share a little quote from my book because this really hit home for me, and it really, if you play it back and you listen to it and you really feel it, you'll receive it. It says, when our behaviors match our intentions, when our actions are equal to our thoughts, when our minds and our bodies are working together, when our words and our deeds are aligned, there is immense power behind any individual. If you do what makes you happy, all other things fall into play. All other things will fall into play. If you just do you and just keep doing you, all things will fall into play. So I'm very excited about 2026 because we're kind of wrapping up into the final quarter of 2025. But it's been a marvelous year, and I'm just very grateful and very blessed. I'm thankful to my husband that I get to not work and actually kind of sit in myself and really kind of learn my habits and the things that I really want to change about myself. So I'm just grateful for this time that I get to spend getting to know myself again and kind of diving back into who it is that I want to truly be and what it is I want to reflect and share with the world. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it wasn't too long for you all. If you liked it, please subscribe. You know, come on back. And again, be blessed, remain stress-free, have a wonderful, wonderful week, wonderful month, wonderful year, and I will see you all in my next